The power of live streaming has both elevated my brand and provided me with some amazing opportunities, like becoming a LinkedIn Live producer. That wasn't even a thing until late in 2019. Hi, I'm Mary Thienbrandt, CEO and founder of the LinkedIn Bakery, where we serve up bite-sized tips so you don't get overwhelmed. I started streaming over 4 years ago, and I'm really fortunate to be a beta tester for LinkedIn Live. But don't worry, you can get access as well. You just need to go to LinkedIn and apply. Just Google LinkedIn Live application. A little birdie told me that by the end of this year, we should all have access to go live on LinkedIn. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, now's a great time to do that. Just send me an email with your connection request and let me know that you saw this live streaming show, and I will go ahead and accept your request to connect. What are you missing out on because you're afraid to go live? Don't let fear hold you back any longer. Today, we're going to cover why you need to be on LinkedIn Live and the opportunity you might be missing out on. We're going to talk about how to brand yourself and your show, what the beginning and the end is, aka those intro videos and call to actions, how to be relatable on LinkedIn. This is so important to be relatable and authentic on LinkedIn Live, and keeping it on brand with your LinkedIn Live show. What if you and your business were more visible? What if your calendar was booked up and you had to start a waiting list like 3 months out? And what if money was coming in non-stop? Wouldn't that be great? And finally, what if you were a sought-after speaker for events, both online and offline? The possibilities are endless, especially when you're using LinkedIn Live. A little bit about me. I'm a native San Diegan, married to a great guy named Joe, and we have a little furball named Frank Sinatra because he has the most beautiful blue eyes. Now, true story, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur, and then my mom got sick, and I left my full-time job, and I started a business not knowing what the heck I was doing. But you know what? I had 2 great years with my mom. She had Alzheimer's and we lost her in 2016. But what came out of that was the rebranding of my business. The LinkedIn Bakery is named after my mom, who had a love of baking and who shared that love with me, and how baking could just elevate someone's day. You could turn someone's life around by sharing your favorite recipes. And I hope that this training turns your life around and gives you hope. Wondering if it's all worth it? Check out these numbers. LinkedIn gives you access to the decision makers. That's right, the people that can write the checks to pay for your products and services. 4 out of 5 decision makers are on LinkedIn. Why not cut through all that red tape and get in front of them by going live on LinkedIn? Did you know that there's 670 million users on LinkedIn? That's right. But only 3 million are content creators. That's right under 1% of the users on LinkedIn. What does that mean? That means that this is a huge opportunity for you to get out there and get your brand in front of 1 million users. Lots of users, right? Because not everyone is creating content. Most people are liking the button, sharing, maybe doing a post once a week. So this is a huge opportunity for you to stand out in the sea of sameness and get your brand in front of millions of users. LinkedIn is growing year after year. When I first started training on LinkedIn, I would refer to it as the ugly duckling of the social media platforms. But now it's grown into a beautiful swan with all the new features and functionality. I really enjoy the growth of this platform. Engagement has grown 50% year after year, and live actually ranks higher in the algorithm, increasing your engagement and exposure. High five, you're not afraid to hit the live button. That's great. But are you building your brand when you go live, or are you just a talking head? Did you know you only have 6 seconds to capture someone's attention? Not much time, right? So how are you currently doing that on your live shows? Wait, what's that? You're not? Well, we need to fix that. So what do you think of when you see this red bullseye, the swoosh, or this cupcake? You immediately think of Target, Nike, and hopefully the LinkedIn Bakery. My point is they're all recognizable, and that's what we want your live show to be, recognizable. Pro tip, always have your logo in the bottom of your live stream show. You want the same kind of thing like Nike and Target and the LinkedIn bakery, right? Okay, well, let's start by putting your logo in your live show. Now next, I'm going to show you my intro video, and I want to know what you feel when you watch it, what elements do you see, what stands out, what comes to mind. And you guys, I actually want you to pause the video and write down 3 things that you're going to put in your intro video. Here's another pro tip. Start your live shows with a pre-recorded video, just like the one that you watched. What did you see when you watched that video? You saw my face. That's really important. You saw my logo. You saw my brand styles, colors, and fonts. It just is part of who I am. And if you want to become recognizable when you're doing live streaming, you really need to have that pre-recorded video. And here's why. Number 1, it is branding. Number 2, it serves as a flashing light to alert your audience that you're about to go live. It's super important because there's a lot of traffic online. Let's be real, right? So having a 1 to 2 minute intro video alerts your network that you're going live so they don't miss your show. It's also a great way to get connected to your audience. Put your contact information, like different platforms that you're on, your phone number if you want, and your email address. That way people who are watching can go ahead and get connected with you immediately. And let's not forget that your live show is going to be on multiple platforms and be watched on replays by thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. So you really need to brand your entire show. Step number 2 in branding your live show, be yourself. Everybody else is already taken. You want to be relatable. Everybody has their own brand style and voice. And while we get inspired by others, I'm going to share who I was inspired by a little bit later. It's okay to be inspired, but you really have to find your own voice and style. Now, I want to know, can you tell me who this is?
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely.
That's the Allstate guy. Everybody knows that voice, right? It's very recognizable. Here's who I was inspired by before I even did my first show. She's amazing. She's a rock star, and she's the entire reason why I started my own show 4 years ago. It's crazy to think that I've been doing live for 4 years. Now, with this person, you don't even have to see her to know who she is. And that's what I'm talking about. She's recognizable, she's relatable, and she's the famous Stephanie Liu. Whenever videos of her would pop up, I would be mesmerized. Here she was inside of her iMac. I was like, how'd she do that? And the beginning of all her videos were the same. It was branded. Stephanie was known for sharing her tech tips and tools and having fun. Who doesn't like a show that's fun, right? If you're not excited about your show, how can you expect anyone else to be excited to join you and engage with you? You do need to have some energy and excitement when you're doing a live show. You don't want your audience to fall asleep. But at the same time, I don't want you to go overboard and yell and shout and maybe do this into the camera 10 times. Once maybe to get your message across is fine. But 10 times of your face going in and out or twirling in your chair, don't do that. Let's talk about being authentic, which means you want to roll with things, right? But I also want you to be prepared. You need to be authentically yourself on your live show. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be prepared. Let me give you an example. You should always have an outline of your show, questions that you might be asking your guests, but you should never read from a script. Every time I try to read from a script, it sounds like I'm reading from a script, and it's awful. My viewers hate it. Just know what you're going to talk about, have a few bullet points up, and then roll with it. Be authentic. Your audience can relate to you more when you're authentically yourself. Be the same person on and off the camera. It's too hard to be two different people. One person in real life and a different person online. That's like being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't know about you, but I can barely keep up with being this girl right here. Okay, you guys, what I mean by that is that you really should be the same person whether you're online or offline. Let me tell you a story. One time, I met a lady online on LinkedIn. She wanted to meet me at Starbucks to learn more about me and my business. Woohoo, great. This is when I was starting off. So I got dressed, went to Starbucks, looked around, didn't see her, whipped out my phone to call her, and she tapped me on the shoulder because she was right there. I didn't recognize her, right? So she didn't look the same. So your online presence should be the same offline. What I mean by that is by being yourself, you'll attract the right audience, the people that you want to work with. This really ties back into your brand voice. If you're naturally a quiet, shyer person, you're probably not going to be all animated online, right? Or if you're someone like me who's more colorful, I use my hands when I talk, I'm the same way online as I am offline. Don't read from a script. Nobody wants to be read from except for children when you read them a bedtime story, right? If you're reading from a script, if you're trying to say something that are not in your natural or own words, your audience is going to know that. And they're probably going to tune out. And one more tip, you guys. When you're doing live, it's okay to make a mistake. It happens to all of us. What matters is what you do when that mistake happens. Do you roll with it? Do you laugh about it? Or do you break down in tears on your live show? Now remember, live is a little different from pre-recorded. It's okay not to be perfect. As a matter of fact, it makes you more human, which then makes you more relatable. The next tip in branding your live show is to be consistent. You can't build your brand on LinkedIn Live if you're not putting out consistent content. All the big brands that you follow, you know when their sales are, you know when their specials are, you know when they have a new product, right? Why do you know that? Because they're consistently in front of you. So in order to build your brand with LinkedIn Live, you too need to be consistent, whether that is a weekly show, a bi-weekly show, maybe it's a 5-minute tip day. I used to do Monday motivations, Mondays with Mary at 7 a.m., 7 minutes or less of motivation. And then I had my Wednesday live show. So figure out what your strategy is, but you need to be consistent. Consistency is going to pay off big when you're building your brand with LinkedIn Live. Here's another pro tip on how you can build your brand while you're on LinkedIn Live. See that bottom third banner right there? Okay, guys, super easy to do, and it's on there the entire time you're live. So you want to have the right elements on there. Like I said before, your logo. Of course, I have my LinkedIn Bakery cupcake logo because I want to be recognizable. So try to use the same logo on all your platforms. So when people see it, they immediately think of you. And then, of course, decide what social media platforms you want people to connect with you. Of course, I have LinkedIn URL over here because that's my favorite platform. And then I have my email address for those that might want to reach out to me after the show and my Facebook page. Super easy to make one of these bottom third banners. You can use Canva or Easel. Just make sure you have all your elements downloaded and ready to go to speed up the process. Your logo, your brand colors, and what social media platforms you want people to connect with you. And don't forget, this little banner right here, it's there the entire time I'm live. So I'm going to have a lot of eyes on that. And by having that banner on your LinkedIn Live show, you're going to become even more recognizable. Isn't that what you're looking to do? A question I get asked a lot is, should I change my brand on LinkedIn, specifically when I go live? Absolutely not. Should you think about your content? Yes. But should you change your brand? No, you need to be consistent across all your platforms. So let's talk about what your brand is. I'm going to talk about your brand voice. What are you known for? I'm known for my fun and informative bite-sized tips. But let's talk about what you're known for. Is it detailed information? Is it bite-sized tips? Is it fun and informative? Or is it analytical and strategic? Whatever you're known for and what you want to be known for, those two things actually have to be in alignment for it to work. So think about what you're known for, what you want to be known for, and don't change your brand on LinkedIn, just expand your brand on LinkedIn. 3 do's and don'ts for LinkedIn Live. Definitely have a script or an outline. You want to practice what you're saying so it comes across authentically, but don't read it word for word. Only small children like to be read to, right? And definitely get inspired by other people. See what other people are doing out there on LinkedIn Live land. Get inspired by watching other shows. Don't copy them. Be yourself. You're unique and you have a lot of talents to share with the world out there. And finally, stay on brand. Don't flip your brand. Don't change it just because you're going live on LinkedIn. Okay? You're ready to wrap up your show. Are you just going to say ciao and let your audience go? No. You need to have a call to action slide. So remember that pre-recorded video that we talked about for your intro? Guess what? You can do the same thing for your outro. That's right. Or you can create just a simple slide with contact information. Maybe you're launching a course. Maybe you have a webinar. Maybe you're going to be on a podcast. Maybe you just want to grow your email list. Tell your audience what to do at the end of your show. Don't make them have to think about it. I have several different call to action slides built into my live show. So depending on what I'm promoting, where I'm going to be speaking, I can just cue that up. But you can also do a short outro video with a little music, a little more branding, and have that call to action slide built right into that as well. So don't forget, it's really important to start strong and finish strong to build your brand on LinkedIn Live. You have a brilliant brand and it's time for you to let it shine using LinkedIn Live. Opportunity is knocking. It's waiting for you to answer. So what are you waiting for? Get started today. Hey, I've got some freebies for you guys. Just jump over to the link on the screen and grab what you want. That's right. I'm going to give you a ton of freebies. Instead of me telling you what freebie you're going to get, I thought, why not just open them all up and let you choose which freebie you could use today. I have 30 days of content for LinkedIn. And you guys, there's some video content that you could be doing. I also have messaging made easy by Mary and hot headlines. So just pick what you need and get started today. Create your content for LinkedIn Live, create your intro video, and you guys, make sure you tag me when you do your first LinkedIn Live because I'd like to see how you branded your business on LinkedIn Live. I hope my training can inspire you to start building your brand using LinkedIn Live. I hope it gives you a lot of inspiration and hope of how you can use LinkedIn Live to build your brand. Ciao!